sound. It's one of the most important things that we deal with as voiceover artists. That's why this story is going to be a little counterintuitive. I spent 10 days by myself in the mountains of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Mountains. It's a mountain range that's about 30 minutes outside of Los Angeles. And one of the things about this mountain range is that it is known for being very windy, very twisty, very curvy. It takes you about 20 minutes to even get down this mountain range. And the key thing is when you have curvy, windy, twisty mountains, you have a lot of people driving very fast cars. We had souped up BMWs, we had supercars. From dawn till dusk, you had people racing all around up and down this mountain range. And that made for a lot of noise. For these 10 days, I was in my mobile recording studio. We were camping out in these mountains. And in every single last recording, you could hear a little bit of car noise pervading every single last recording. But in these 10 days, I ended up getting a huge chunk of work from a bunch of different ranges. Commercial work from non-commercial, video games, radio, a bunch of different clients reaching out, requesting for me. Now, this is not to boast. This is for one very important thing that might, if applied correctly, transform your relationship with voiceover. And that's the relationship between making and creating. Let's dive a little bit into that. When it comes to making something is fairly easy. I think of it as when you go into a kitchen and you go and get a cookbook and you need to make something, whether that be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, egg sandwich, doesn't really matter. You know what you need. You need your bread, you need your jelly, you need your peanut butter, you know. It's very easy, it's straightforward, the directions are right there, they're right in front of you, it's intuitive. And that's what a lot of us are trained to do. We're trained to make stuff that we love. And we're trained to go through the motions and go through the steps. But as artists, that's the one thing that separates us from a lot of other fields. That's the reason why I was landing a lot of the work. In this time when I was so bothered by the road noise, I said that this is just going to be a time when I can experiment. There's going to be a little bit of road noise in it anyway, so I'm going to throw myself into a lot more of these auditions. I'm going to throw away the making of, I know how a commercial voiceover sounds. It sounds like this. If I'm going for the radio, call 1-800-JJ Wentworth. You know what it sounds like. That's making, something that we already know. But my mindset shifted to creating. When it comes to creating, you're in a completely different ball field, and that's the pinnacle of today's conversation. Creating is making something completely from scratch on the basis of throwing out what you know you need to make in order to create something new, involving a little bit of spice, your own personality in your recordings, in your auditions. That's one of the things that actually set you apart, having your own self in your auditions. Now, I know that's a lot easier said than done. A lot of people before have probably told you just, involve a little bit more of your personality in your auditions. But what does that practically mean? And how can you do it to start practically getting more callbacks, to start landing more gigs? Well, I'll tell you the things that I started to infuse. Thing number one, who are you talking to? When you're doing a commercial spot, when you're doing a video game audition, when you're doing any real audition out there, you're speaking to someone. Even if on your audition you don't know who you're speaking to, and the sides, it really doesn't dictate who you're speaking to, make someone up. And when you make someone up, you need to be specific. Specificity is going to be your friend. It can be a lockbox, but at the very beginning, you need to have something so that you can make it for. So, what's that person's age? How close or how far away from you are they? You can play with proximity. If I'm talking to my mom from a distance, hey, Mom, walking up to them, oh, I just got to ask you something real quick. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Running away, thanks, Mom. All of that, the tone, the pacing, the way in which you say something indicates your distance from the character. So, how old are they? How far are they? What's your relationship with them? What is your current mood? And what are you trying to convey in the actual project? And what is your purpose for being in the project? Thinking about all of this stuff before you just say the words on the sheet of paper are going to help you go from making something to creating something. And when you start creating something, even when there's a little bit of car noise from dawn till dusk in all of your recordings, you're going to see that you're going to start getting more attention on your auditions. And even if at the end of the day you're not getting that attention, still you're going to be infusing more of your personality into your auditions, which is going to set you apart from the competition. Because like I always say, nobody can be you but you. Thank you so much for joining in. I know that this has been a while in the making. I know that I've been gone for a little while. I've been working on a super secret project that I am super excited to announce. It's got a couple more months in the works, but you can pop on down and sign up to the newsletter in order to get information and updates about that, and sign up for the waiting list, because this is going to be a culmination of everything that I've learned in my artistry over the course of the last 17 years, being a musician, photographer, a videographer, a creative director, a voiceover artist, an actor, everything bundled into one thing to help you learn how to be the most creative individual you can. So, sign up for that waiting list, and catch you in the next one.